It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire. Our mission really is to empower. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of those resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And today we have the one and only Sacha Walton, who's in the building. Welcome, Sacha. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. And you, just today or whatever time they're watching, you'll be talking about a subject called, having a business ecosystem. Now,
Yeah.
I went to DC public schools. Okay. I went to an HBCU, by the way, and some other things. And I'm always curious, what is a business ecosystem? So can you, for those folks that are entrepreneurs, that are business owners, so we can all be on the same page, tell us in your definition, what is a business ecosystem and why you want to talk about that today?
Yeah. So, my definition of the business ecosystem is having a personal brand that leads your company, that leads your business. So, when you have, you're stepping out under your brand as the face of your brand, and then you have your company, and then both of them are intertwined and working to support each other. And you grow more in visibility, productivity, and profitability.
Okay, here we go with branding. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer over here. I'm trying to be the most positive, motivational guy in the world. But you said a brand. And people are saying, all right, Shay, is this some more colors? Shay, is this another logo? Shay, I got color scheme. Do you see how I dress? So, when we get into the ecosystem, which we will, you mentioned brand. So I think it's fair to ask you, what
Yes.
is a brand? And what is your definition on branding and branding positions for entrepreneurs who already know how to look good? They already know how to feel good. They know colors. They decorate their home. Many of them have take care of other folks. So what's your definition of branding, and why is it so important now more than ever for entrepreneurs?
Yes. So the actual definition for branding is far beyond the colors. It's far beyond, how we're dressing or so forth, or how your website looks. It's about how you show up for the people, for your customers, your clients, those people who don't even know about you, your target audience. It's how you show up. The branding is a result of how you planned your business. And so when I talk about coming out as your personal brand, that's you being the face of your brand. That's that CEO that loves to hide behind the logo. That's the CEO that loves to be in the back of the scenes in the office. But you have to show up. Sometimes it takes for you to let people see who you are in order for them to build that trust. That's another part of branding. They want to build product trust, they want to build service trust. So why not let them see who you are and trust you?
So it all boils down to trust at the end of the day. So for the person that's listening, we have a number of folks that are dualpreneurs. Probably 70% of our audience are dualpreneurs. They work a full-time job and they're a full-time entrepreneur. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, no shame. Don't let anyone ever tell you, oh, I can't believe you're still working. It's okay to be a 9 to 5 millionaire. It's okay to take care of your family. It's okay to take care of the kids. It's okay to be involved in the community. It's okay to do all those things, not have a side hustle and have a business. So I'm going to ask Sasha if she can, and if she had to give, three ideas. She's a business strategist. She's someone that works with entrepreneurs every day. I believe she gets it. And you said, Shay, here are three things for an entrepreneur that's listening, whether they're full-time or part-time, that if they do these three things, it's going to help move their business forward. And it's kind of unfair because, well, I'll break it down for her. Two type of businesses. Talk to first the people who are less than 5 years. Okay, they're still getting it going and trying to get clarity. And then there's another group of business. She can handle this, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, she can handle this. There's another group of business. They're 5 years and above. You know what I mean? So it's just a different level of conversation. No shame to those who are getting started, but I want to give it to her in a way that she can talk to both groups at one time. Over to you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that. So those who are in startup phase, my top three things for you is to make sure that you are definitely planning out your business. Don't skip the process, don't skip the steps, don't go straight into wanting to market and brand everything that you have without even setting the foundation through the business development and planning. The aspects of your marketing and your branding comes from the structure that you build within the planning stage of your business. So that is like my top tip. Make sure that you are, you know, checking your wellness. We want to do the mindset checks. That is highly important for those who are starting out because entrepreneurship is not for the weak. And then just make sure that you are not looking at the Joneses. I mean, I just love to stay practical about it. We see stuff all the time on Facebook. We see everybody or on social media. People are growing with their businesses. They're doing this, but you're still steady tracking along. Make sure that you have that process in place. You're planning. Make sure you have your mindset well, and just keep going forward in that. Those are the top things. If you have that going, then you're pretty much good going forward. Now, those who are 5 years and over, sometimes we get to a place where we might be stuck. We might be going through that next phase, that growth phase. You might need to pivot. So, my thing is always continue to look at your planning and your structure. Business plans are not just for investors and taking it to the bank. Corporations look at business plans, they do quarterly reviews, they do annual reviews based on the business plan to make sure that they're hitting all the goals, that they know they're tracking the financials and so forth. And that's I'm sorry, that's far beyond looking at your income statement or your profit, your P&L. But you want to make sure you have that. Go back and check it. Make sure you're hitting those goals. But also look at the fact that maybe you are growing into something different. Don't be afraid to pivot. Look at what it is. That growth, that next level, a lot of times it comes through a pivot. Don't be afraid to let go. So those are the top tips I have for those who are already like 5 years and over. Just continue to go strong and just don't be afraid to go forward.
Yeah, you're someone that's been able to do a number of things. She has a target audience. She works with, like you said, entrepreneurs and creatives, but she's also someone that knows something about being prepared so that you can go after bigger opportunities. And I'm not, government is not my target audience, but I know a number of folks that are listening might be saying, okay, Shay, she mentioned business plan. Is this outside the scope of a business system? I don't know because she and I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I'm going to ask her. Business plan, what's the struggle for why people struggle with that? They got so many books on it and so many YouTube videos on it. It seems like you can throw a rock and find someone to do a business plan. I didn't have one. I'm guilty. Don't judge me, please, please, please. I never did a business plan, but I should have probably done one. But here's the question: number one, what are some ideas that someone can do so they can have a business plan? And then how does that relate to individuals who want to go after government contracts, they want to go after corporate gigs, and they want to position themselves in a business in a way to be able to leverage not just residential, but B2B? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, with that business plan, this is how you look at your structure. This is how you look at how you want to do. One of the things I tell people is to, when they have an issue with wanting to write out their business plan, the biggest part of that is because it's a tedious process and you just don't want to discipline yourself to take the time to do it. But if you look at the vision of what you see for your business, ahead of time. Like just sit back and close your eyes and look at it. You see it from the end, bring it back and then write it out. That's how you know when you can write out all those steps. You can look at what type of businesses you want to go after. Like what do you want to go into government contracting as one of your clients? Do you want to have corporations and so forth? You want to identify those things and that way you know that's where your target audience is going to be outside of just the realm of just everyone out here, maybe depending on your service or your product, whether they're going to be customers or clients. But if you want to go after the bigger scope of things, then it's good to plan it out because there are a lot of steps it takes with that. It's the research, it's the understanding of like government contracting in itself, trillions of money that's there, but you have to make sure that your business is ready for it. And so corporations, you want to make sure you land some of those corporate contracts, but you got to be ready for it. So to look at your business planning process of it, that's how you can identify so much more in that aspect. So that's why business planning and sitting down and writing out that plan, it helps you to identify those things, and it's so important.
They're picking up what you're putting down. This is some really good, not information, but things that you can use now. So I didn't hear her say you have to go download a new app. She didn't say you got to learn something new. These are some practical things that you can do. And they're wondering, okay, they're reading your bio below. That's cool. They're Googling and finding out who's this person because she's involved in a lot of things, but she's making sense. There is sense. Can I say that again? Making sense and sense on this particular podcast. Come on, that's pretty cool. And so they want to know what's her backstory. So, give us, you've heard this before, the origin story. And then what was that moment that you said, you know what, this is that pivotal moment that I'm going all in as an entrepreneur to work with other folks?
Look, I have a company. It's called SWI Management Group. I've been in business for over 20 years. I started in 1998. And the backstory was primarily with event production. And that's how I grew my business under SWI Management Group. We also do business development. I was working a full time. So I'm not, telling you anything that I haven't done before. I worked 20 years for a full time company, and then I was laid off in 2018. And so when I was laid off, I went heavily after government contracting and event services, scaled six figures within the 6 months of my layoff, and was doing that 2 years until the pandemic happened. And when the pandemic happened, it shut down the event industry and shut down my business for 2 years and shut me down too. So that's why I became this advocate for mental wellness as well. But during those moments, the challenging times that I had, I looked at the fact of, okay, there has to be resilience, there have to be some diligence that's come, there's some perseverance. And I wasn't made to just sit back and just be on the sidelines. And when I came to the understanding about that, I knew that if I was going to relaunch my business, that I had to do it differently. And that's what I launched it with, a personal brand. So that's why I'm here now and showing people how they can set up business ecosystems between a personal brand and your business. And when I say that, now I am the public speaker, international public speaker. I am podcast host. I am an author. I have a best-selling Amazon bestseller, and there are so many things that I do to show up as the face of my brand. But what happens is it brings business to my company. And so now I have this ecosystem that actually brings in six different streams of income. And it doesn't include, and I'm not saying this to knock anybody, it doesn't include your network marketing. It doesn't include any of that. This is all sourced from what I have. You want to look at the assets. I call my podcast, my books, my speaking, everything as an asset because you can leverage those opportunities. And it brings in money. So that is my backstory, the shortest version I've ever given.
Well,
The shortest
as
version.
you was
Oh my gosh, first time here.
I love it. And as you was giving it, you mentioned something called mental wellness, something that you're an advocate for. You can't just toss that out there and just leave us hanging. By the way, especially in a time in our world where there's so much chaos, right? And it's not a good thing or bad thing. There's a war going on. So people talking about there's an inflation. Doesn't matter if you like this president, you like the last president, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican. It doesn't really matter. What we know is we've got to take care of ourselves, but that puts a lot of mental pressure. And so my question to you is twofold. Number one, how do you manage so much going on for people to have to do that? And number two, talk about mental wellness and maybe one, two, or three things that folks can do because there is a lot of internal stress and pressure. I know I felt it. I know I found myself just like, whoa. And others taking their life as a result of it. So it's a very serious matter. You said it, and I don't think you said it jokingly, but when you said it, I was like, whoa, she's right. We've got to visit that. So to take a moment, mental wellness, the importance and some things they can do. And number two, obviously managing all the stuff that's going on. It's a lot.
Yes, yes, yes. So, to be able to manage your mental wellness, one thing that I do feel like that topic is not talked about enough in a niche segment when it comes down to entrepreneurs. And so I became this self-proclaimed advocate to talk about mental wellness and entrepreneurship. So one of the first things you can do is prioritize self-care. You have to, as an entrepreneur, these are moments where you have to look at yourself and say, look, I need to have time to pull myself away. A lot of times as men, as women, especially women, since I'm a woman speaking on this part, we can dive in so hard and go hard. We take care of everything and everybody. Like I said, men and women alike. And we forget about ourselves. And then when life is happening around us, we can't handle it because there's so much pressure. So my thing is to prioritize self-care. That is primary number one. Know when to turn off that phone, know when to set your office hours and actually stick to them and discipline yourself in that. Take a moment, whether it's an hour the first time, whether it's a day the next time, whether it's a whole weekend or a week, whatever you can do that. But make sure you also have your processes and systems in place. That is your teams, if you have them. That is, let me rewind that. That is a team if you have it. Don't be afraid to delegate. I know sometimes we as entrepreneurs, we don't like to take our hands off of certain things. So when we look at the fact of it does mean that we need to take it off, have people that we can trust, know that we can trust them to do the job and let them do that. That helps to open up space for you. And then also, like I said, your teams as a system, automations, anything that you can do to automate your business as much as possible. For myself, I love the touch points. I love having the conversations. I love all of that. But I know as I grow, as my business grows, I can't always be there, even though I want to. So I have to do automations. That is highly important. Another one is know your capacity. Know your capacity. Don't try to operate out of a half full glass. You want to always operate out of an overflow. Make sure you have something in you, that substance, everything, that self-care, all those things that you need for you. Make sure you have it as you're pouring out to other people, including your family. So you have to know how to integrate and balance that work-life balance. Also, including if you're working a 9 to 5. If you're working 9 to 5, you got a full-time business as well as a family. You have to be able to balance that out and to know what to put in place. But also, when I talk about knowing your capacity, is don't take on too much that you can't handle. If you know you can't handle it, don't take it on. If you're trying to make that next dollar, but you know you cannot perform well because it's too much, don't do it, because you're adding extra stress onto your life. And so those are the top three things. And if you want to know more, I do have a book. I don't know if I could shout it out, but I have a book
Oh, I
about
mean,
it.
there you go again. There you go, just leaving us hanging. I mean, I was all in. I was listening to this mental wellness. I can hear the passion in your heart. I could hear it coming out. Like you were like pumped. You were like ready. Like you. And then you say, "Well, I got this book. I don't know if I can mention the book. I mean, I don't know if I can shout out." Yes, we want you to shout out. So
Okay,
slow
so now
down,
I got
and then
permission.
we'll speed up. This is a very friendly audience. I mean, we're here to learn. We're here to grow.
Yeah,
We want to talk to everyday people that are just like us. So
yeah.
yes, please share with us. Please.
Ooh,
What is the
please.
book? Who is
It
it
is.
for? And give us an
Yes.
idea of the book. Don't leave us hanging. Now y'all got to go buy the book, but don't leave us hanging.
Yes,
Gosh.
it is called The Ugly Truth About Entrepreneurship, Keys to Managing Mental Wellness. That is my passion project. That's my passion book. It encompasses my story through the pandemic, how I kind of came out of it, how it impacted me, how, I got these wonderful keys with those top three that I actually gave you for mental wellness are in the book and then some. And, the book is for entrepreneurs. It's for anyone who feels like you just want to know, like, is there anyone else out there that's feeling the way I'm feeling as an entrepreneur? And to be able to hear a real life story or somebody who chose to be vulnerable and transparent, and tell about, some of the dirty truth. And when it comes down to entrepreneurship, I chose to be that person, and I have written that book. The book is on Amazon. It is everywhere. It's overseas. It's here, somewhere everywhere. But definitely, the whole premise was based on that pandemic, and I look at it as I look at it as that blessing in disguise. Because had it not been for it, I wouldn't be right here speaking. It also taught me how to get out of my comfort zone. And that's why I really felt like that book was so important to write. And, the feedback I've gotten from so many people is like, yeah, somebody knows my story and they see what I'm going through without even knowing who I am.
You've been an entrepreneur for a number of years. You're helping entrepreneurs. You're making a big, big difference in the world. What does success look like for where you are now in your life? Is it just about the money? Is it about other things? What does success look like for you?
Success for me is more so about the impact.
Mhm.
If you're doing everything in the way that you planned out to do and you're putting everything in motion, I wouldn't say you're doing
Mhm.
it right, because there's not a right and wrong way, but there's a better way and a best way to handle things. When I'm making impact with people, I know that everything else is going to come. If I'm opening myself out, I'm a giver by nature. I love helping people. I know that sometimes if I open myself up to give, it's going to come back. Success is that. Success is the impact. And I love being able to see people just walk into their purpose. And I feel like the more I help someone else, the more it's going to come back in so many ways to make me even more successful.
I love it. And along this journey, you've had so many mentors. And it's kind of unfair question, but I think it's a reasonable question, which is of all the mentors you've had, if you had to select one mentor, I didn't say the best mentor, but one mentor and one idea from that mentor that was passed along to you, that you now can take that one idea and pass it on to us. And you, the audience, you can go ahead and lean in now because you get an opportunity to benefit from something that she's not only held as a principle, but something you can use for the rest of your life. So what's an idea you learned from one of your mentors?
Yeah, I would say one of my mentors, I have to say, is Kessie Stripling. She's out of the DC area, and when I was going after government contracts, I just opened up, hey, can you be my mentor? I went to her and everything, and she agreed. But she taught me a lot of valuable lessons, just to make sure that I'm just always stepping out, not to shy back from anything, but always step out, make sure I have it planned, make sure I write things out. And I was that undisciplined one that didn't like to write things out. I'm one of the type of people that love to just do things from the top of my head and just boom, it's done. But I understood the value of how to write it out and plan it out and not just go about doing it. Now I know that my target and aim is a lot more sure. So I would say that is the one thing from her as a mentor that I really learned.
I love it. I love it. We have a segment here called Today is My January 1st. Now, I know for those that show up Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you wait to say those words. You can go ahead and say that now. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are tuned in for the very first time, welcome. We're glad to have you aboard. Let me tell you what it means, because today is my January 1st is one of our personal mantras. And it means that you get a fresh start. It means today is my January 1st, you get a do over. That your past no longer equals your future. Today is your January 1st. Happy New Year to you. Doesn't that feel good? You don't have to wait till December 31st at 11:59 p.m. on the back of a napkin, by the way, and say, it's my new day. No, no. This is your time. This is your moment. My question to the one and only Sashi on the other side is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And what is something that you can share to encourage and inspire folks that are listening?
I hear that do over. I hear not even a do over. I hear clean slate. When we think about everybody always want to do this New Year's resolution, and us as business owners, we want to do our planning and everything. But it means that you're taking time, number one, for self. You want to do self reflections, and that's where that whole mental wellness can come in at. But it also, you want to dive in and know that you left everything behind. That clean slate is, you left all that fear behind. You left the procrastination. You left the limiting beliefs. You left everything that was behind that kept you bound in some kind of way from going to the next level in your business or even your personal life. So my thing is, just make sure that you leave all those things behind, because now it's your January 1st and you can go into your whole next quarter, with a whole new mindset and just refreshed, rejuvenated, and go ahead and get that, business going and do what you got to do.
You're amazing. You and I here through the spirit of collaboration. One of my 12 rules for life is that collaboration crushes competition. And Dr. Angela Hard Mack, I think, is the one that kind of connected us together. And so why do I do that? One, to acknowledge her and thank her for that. And number two, to ask you, when you're looking for collaborative partners, because in business, there's some wins and some losses. So folks might be curious, what does she look for, Shay, when she's looking to partner with someone? And that you, the entrepreneur, can look for as well. And I know it's no magic to it, but there are best practices. And here's someone that's had to partner, build relationships for a number of years. So here's the question. What's two or three things that you can recommend to folks to look for in a collaborative partner?
First, I would say believe in the strategic partnerships yourself and know that you're going into it for the right reasons. When you're looking into a partner, I would love to say make sure that they are bringing something different to the table than what you have. A collaborating effort means that you're bringing two selves together in your uniqueness, your skills, your niche, everything for a common goal. So you want to make sure that there's somebody who could bring something else to the table. You don't want somebody that's always doing the same thing you're doing, because you want that opposite there. So look for that, but also look for somebody that is like-minded and light spirit. I'm really into just being very soulful and that holistic entrepreneurship phase of it. But when you find people who are like-minded and like-hearted and like spirit, it makes it a lot easier for you to navigate that process of strategic partnerships. You don't have to worry about the tug and pull. So I would say that, and then also make sure you have your agreements. No matter how well you get along, no matter how much you love and like each other, have your agreements and make sure that you are clearly identifying your responsibilities and your roles, and you have that set in stone. It doesn't mean that you don't trust that person. It doesn't mean that you're not looking to grow in trusting that person, but it means that you're just going to have your legalities and affairs in order.
Sure. What type of clients are you looking to work with these days if you're taking on any clients at your firm? And number two, how can folks best connect with the one and only Sashi?
Yeah, so I love working with all entrepreneurs, but I would say women entrepreneurs and definitely creatives. I have a heart for creatives. I worked with music artists and all that before, and those who are authors and so forth. But you're business owners too. So if you're creative and you're trying to navigate the space in your industry and want to be more in that mindset of entrepreneurship as a business owner, definitely you got to contact me. And you can reach me at my website is going to be probably the best way is www.swimgtgroup.com. All my socials are attached to it. My email is there. And if you go up there, there is a business plan journal. If you email me, there's a business plan journal that I can send to you, and that will help you bring out your ideas for your business.
Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I know one thing, you can always make more money. You can make more money. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And so you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you. Thank you, the viewer. Thank you, the person that shows up every single day, daily at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate you sharing it. Make sure you follow us on YouTube or Instagram. You can just type in @IamCheBrown. You can go see the episodes and we can connect. It gives me a chance to learn a little more about you, by the way. You can see me, but I can't see you. So I would love to connect with you. So you can find us over at Instagram as @IamCheBrown. I want to close with this. I want to remind you that you are amazing. Can't say that enough, can you? Because today is your January 1st. You're also awesome, by the way, because today is your January 1st. And more importantly, because you have lungs and oxygen going through your lungs right now and you're alive, I believe for you, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, in case you forgot, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, though. Time is long. Life is very, very short. You got to live in that moment. You got to make it count. God bless you. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, Sacha. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Peace. We out.